Perfect, does it work now? It works now. Okay, so hello everyone, good evening and welcome to another of my live streams, and today we will be doing, I don't know, what will we be doing today? Probably the same thing we've always been doing for the last 10 streams, and that will be PicoCTF. So yes, today is the 10th part of PicoCTF, or if you speak only hexadecimal, that would be the A part of PicoCTF 2019. So yeah, welcome. Okay, let me just move some windows around and we can get right to it. Okay, now it should be fine. Perfect. So today's moderator is going to be Foxtrot Charlie. You can see his nickname right here. This is Foxtrot. So if you have any questions during the live stream, you need to ping Foxtrot Charlie on YouTube chat or on our Discord, or if you're on our IRC, you just can write !Q and that's enough to get a question in. Now, sorry. Now, if you have any questions, you have to ping Foxtrot. I will be answering questions before the main topic, and then around a quarter past we will start the main topic, and then I will be answering some questions related to the topic during the live stream, and all the other questions which are there, I will address them at the end of the live stream. So if I do not address your question during the live stream, well, during the main topic, do not worry, I will get back to it at the end of the live stream anyway. Perfect. So let's do a set of visual updates, I guess. I do remember having a browser somewhere here. Let's see if my keyboard works. It works, perfect. So this is my moderator's, Foxtrot's website. That's foxtrotlabs.cc. Check it out. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I wonder if there are any new posts. I didn't check for a long time, so there have to be. Yeah, kinda, sorta. On the Polish side, maybe then? Yeah, kinda, sorta. Yeah, still visit it. Absolutely. Then, paged out is delayed, as you know. Yeah, and it's getting delayed and delayed and delayed, but we'll eventually get there. We have around 55 articles right now, with some new articles still coming in. So if you want to write an article for the third issue of Paged Out, you still have time to do it. I would say still like 3 weeks, 3 maybe 4 weeks. If you send the article in that time, we can still make it, like review it for the issue number 3. And otherwise it will go to issue number 4. And yeah, apologies for the delay, that's absolutely on me. On the other hand, do not worry, Paged Out is not going anywhere. It's just like we're retooling to stay, basically. That's the idea. Now, I wanted to mention PlateCTF, which was a CTF made by the basically same group which makes PicoCTF, which is, you know, the CMU folks from PPP. And but it's like, yeah, it's a pretty, how to say it, on one hand it's pretty hard, on the other hand it's pretty challenging and pretty competitive. I think that's the word I'm looking for. There's a lot of great team participating and the tasks are like absolutely amazing. So yeah, I did play a bit. I did solve one task which was JSON born, and it was a JSON parser or JSON pretty printer actually written in Bash. I learned quite a lot about Bash while solving the challenge, and the challenge was pretty interesting to solve. I'm not going to spoil it. It's like this, it's not hard to solve. So even if you just started with CTFs, you should be able to do it, even though it will be on the like higher end for you. If you're a long time CTF player, you will still have to spend a few hours on it, but it's like pretty fun, and it's only a few hours. It's not like 20 hours. It will be like 2-3 hours maybe. So that is pretty cool, and just go to play.platectf.com as long as the challenges are there. You can play them, I guess. Now there's this challenge where I was this close to solving it, as in we actually had the solution, and then I failed to transform the solution to the flag in the last 10 minutes or like 15 minutes of a CTF after 24 hours of reverse engineering TypeScript generics. It was actually a crack me written in not in TypeScript, but in the meta programming language for the types in TypeScript, which you can compare that to, I guess, the C++ templates. So imagine having 1,600 lines of C++ templates. You had this in TypeScript, and I'm not going to spoil it. It's a pretty hard challenge, actually, pretty fun challenge as well. Yeah, and we got the solution, but I failed at the last step. At one point you had to pad some bits, and I forgot about the padding, so we didn't get it in. Even without that, we managed to get the third place. That's just like I guess a statement of how good players can carry someone who fails a task, an important task like me. That's great. Like, my team is amazing, and all props to them. Now, that's that. And now PicoCTF. PicoCTF, where are we actually with PicoCTF? Let's see. Now, let's see the challenges. We have solved 77 challenges, and this number isn't really decreasing. 23 still unsolved. Let's try to do 3 or 4 challenges today as well. That's always like a step forward. So yeah, but before we get there, again, let's do some questions. If you have any questions, you have to ping Fox or Charlie. And yeah, like this person here. And if you ping him, he will put the question on my question list, and then we can discuss it. Unless there are no questions, in that case we can just go and yeah, and just start with the live stream. Let's see if there are any. How do you implement DBI in Linux? Via ptrace? Some more complicated and deep technique, maybe ptrace is pretty good. So that depends, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to implement a DBI engine, or do you want to use DBI? Because if you just want to use DBI, then like use Pin from Intel, or use DynamoRio, or use like Frida for like all things. Why not? Frida is pretty cool. But if you want to implement the engine, ptrace is the thing I would start with. That's the easiest one, and if I do not need speed, that's the easiest one, I would say. So I would just go for ptrace interface, or I would probably just instrument a debugger, rather like use GDB with Python scripting to instrument a binary instead of using ptrace. Well, that's GDB uses ptrace anyway, so that's just, you know, one step higher, which in the abstraction layer, which means it's a little bit easier to do. Okay, are there any other questions? Wow, I see people in the chat from all around the world. From Stockton, from Egypt. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I think that's it for questions now. If you have any questions, just, you know, let me know. I guess everyone is watching the SpaceX live stream. Is it now? I think it's going on now. So I guess we can get going with the tasks. In that case, our next task is going to be yeah, we even have folks from Persia, from Iran. Hello, welcome. Cool, what do we have here? No, these are solved. I need unsolved ones. And yeah, as I mentioned, I'm not going to do the forensics ones yet because I need to do some setting up for them and downloading stuff, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to. No, I cannot find time to do it. That's the actual excuse I'm going to go for. So we're going to go for this binary exploitation. I think we kind of started looking at it at the end of the last live stream, but yeah, we never finished it. So it's called Seed Spring. The PRNG here, like, okay, so that name is a giveaway. Like the seed and PRNG with capitals. PRNG is a pseudo random number generator, so we have a random number generator, and seed is like, usually if you have a random number generator, you need to initially seed it with some internal state, basically some numbers, and then based on that numbers it generates well, pseudo-random numbers, not real random numbers, but pseudo-random numbers. So basically, we know that this task might be about that. And this is binary exploitation, which makes me wondering what will it be about. But yeah, let's see. So okay, I created a directory, I downloaded it, let's see what the file is. There is actually a file. I did have a console, so yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Let's do, I am under Tmax, so if I'm doing something weird, that means I'm using just Tmax key bindings. Tmax and screen are two terminal multiplexers. Basically, they're like allow you to do stuff like have virtual terminals in a terminal. So, you know, like having virtual desktops, you can have virtual terminals inside one terminal, and you can just switch between them with some keyboard shortcuts. Tmax is actually pretty amazing. It can do a lot of more stuff, screen as well. So if you don't know them, it's worth learning. Yeah, we have this file downloaded, and it's a 32-bit, x86 Linux binary. Cool. And then we have there was this address here, right? So we can connect with netcat to this address. Okay. By the way, if you see something like that in a task, do not think this is like that you have to solve the challenge using netcat. You probably just have to take a look at the challenge using netcat, and whatever else you do, you just do with your like exploit script using pawn tools or whatever else you like. Okay, let's just take a look what this task is about by running it, or rather by connecting to the server which is already running it. Welcome, the game is easy. You just jump on a spring. How high will you fly? Guess the height. 5. And okay. Did I guess? Did I not guess? What's going on? Did it freeze? Let's try it again. Let's do -v. Maybe it just doesn't work. Okay. The server might just not like me. Okay, now it's connected, but I'm checking my internet connection, but it seems to work. Well, that's weird. Okay, we still have to reverse engineer the binary before we start interacting with the server anyway. So let's just open IDA. You can use any disassembler, IDA is fine. And take a look. I'm going to use a decompiler as usual to speed things up. We could analyze it in assembly, but that doesn't make too much sense. What is this? Okay, so basically what's going on here, it prints out what we saw, right? How high will you fly? Then what is this? Is this like, no, okay, so it's nothing, as in it's a, okay, what happened to my zooming? My zooming fails. This just basically prints an empty line. Then it flashes the standard output, then it gets the current time and uses it as a seed. This is pretty typical in all tutorials that use rand and C. You will see this. And then it uses it as rand, as seed for the random number generator. Now in C and, well, in the default implementations of C, there are basically like 2 different random number generators which are used, and thankfully, as long as we have the same library type, or yeah, basically not even the version, but just a type of library or family of library, we do not really have to care too much about what pseudo-random number generator it is, because we can just use the same. And then for 30 times it says level something, and then it outputs, it actually might be my internet connection. Okay, let's try to ping something and see if this is my internet connection. Maybe my internet connection is just dead. But I can... It seems to be streaming to YouTube, so that's weird. Anyway, let's just go with the task. So Okay, guess the number when it asks us for the number. And we input the number. And if we did not guess, then whatever was... Oh, it's a number between 0 and that's 15, so 0 and 15. This is just a bit mask with round. So it returns a number when it grabs the 4 lowest bits of it, and the 4 lowest bits can be between 0 and 15. Okay, and we basically have to guess it 15 times. Why does it say that it's an exploitation, like binary exploitation? It's a binary, but why is it exploitation? Usually this kind of tasks where you have to guess a random number are crypto tasks. These are not exploitation tasks. So I'm wondering if there is some bug here, but I do not see it. This is basically the only input we got in, and that's just a scanf. So I'm not really sure about it. Yeah. This does look like a crypto task where we have to basically predict the output of a random number generator. So the idea here is basically that, like if you do run, like if you first srun something with like value, whatever value 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do srun, and it will always, for example, return this value. Then if you do rand again, it will, for example, return this value, and if you do rand again, it will return, I don't know, like this value, right? Now, if you like close the application and run it again and set the seed on the same value to the same value, then it will output exactly the same stream of numbers. So yeah, this is just like a pseudo-random number stream which it outputs. It calculates the next value each time, but the numbers will always be the same for the same stream identifier. Let's call it like that. Let's call it a stream identifier for the sake of a solution. Now, the idea behind this task is basically that we have to predict the seed, which is quite easy because it's based on time. Now, time returns the number of seconds which have passed from the 1st January of what is like 1970, from like the midnight, in GMT, if I remember correctly. So basically, if we run time on our computer and time on the server, it should be the same amount always, as long as these servers are synchronized. There might be some desynchronization when it comes to time. Either it might be like some time zones being set incorrectly in one of them, or so that would be in hours in that case, or it might be that while the time zones are okay, it might be just like a couple of seconds here or there. So what we'll have to do is we'll basically have to first check if the time is give or take the same. Or will we? No, we'll just assume that we are in the time zones are set correctly everywhere. So that's what we'll assume, and then we will basically run srun on our computer and srun on that computer and try to get the same stream of numbers. That computer, I mean by that I mean the server. Let's see if I can connect now. Yes, I can connect. That's perfect. So what do we need? We need basically an application which will do the same, like just output a set of numbers. So I'm going to call it asdf.cc. Why am I coding this in C++? Basically to use the same library as it's being used by this application, and this application just uses the default C library which is in the system, which is the GNU C library in case of most Linux distributions. Not all, but most. Okay, so basically we do same stuff. We do need to do 2 more things: stdlib.h and time.h. So we get time and we put it in. This actually takes a pointer, by the way. The 0 here is a pointer to some value which would be normally filled, whatever. And we do srun on it. And then we do, yeah, that's basically it. So now we just output 30 numbers. Okay, and we do return 0, but this doesn't matter because it's C++, so we do print. Let's just print them. Let's just print them. Yeah, we can print them like this. Run it. And there was this operation which we absolutely need to remember. So, yeah, we have to do two things at the same time. Basically, we have to compile it and run it and connect to the server. We might be 1 second off, but doesn't matter. We can try a couple of times. So nc, no, not nc, gcc, g++, asdf.cc. Okay, and now if we run it, we just get a stream of numbers, right? Which is perfect. Now what we can do is actually we don't even have to do it at the same time. We can try to pipe one to the other. So we can do a out and we pipe it to this connection. There will be a delay because NC actually takes a second or two until it's connected, but maybe it will work. Let's see. If we start it at the beginning of a second and then it connects up to the end of a second, it might not work on the other hand. And then we'll have to figure something out. Worst case scenario, we will write a Python script that will wait for this to appear in the socket and like the input from the network, and then run the application. But yeah, let's just try it like this, unless my internet is going to fail again. But yeah, I would say that's basically the solution to this task. Now, actually, you can also go the other way, which is quite interesting. You can get a stream of numbers and like know the code, which is like this, right? And then derive the time from the stream of numbers. And I remember using it in there were some reverse engineering challenges back in the days where you got a binary and you had to write a report, and the binary was using an obfuscator, which was basically randomly generating instructions to compress, well, not really compress, to encrypt the application. Well, encrypt, I'm putting it in quotes because like the key had to be there, and that was obfuscation, that wasn't really encryption, okay? And yeah, just based on the stream of the instructions, I could tell that like because the constants are like this and because the packer which was used here uses the same scheme, I could easily say that yeah, it's basically it was packed at this time, and the headers actually also had the compilation time, so there was like, I don't know, like a couple of minute difference between a compilation and then packing, which doesn't really matter too much, but it's a fun fact to put in a report. Okay, so wrong. Let's try again. Let's try again. Let's try again. It connects connects pretty fast. That's actually what I really like. The problem is that it doesn't output. I would really love for it to output the actual. Okay, so there are a couple of things here. One is that this is problematic for us. I will get to it in a, yeah, this is okay. So it's like this: when you interact with a user and they input something, then and you want your application to be interactive, you sometimes want to do this. You want to flash standard input. That means remove everything which was inputted after the last input from the user from the standard input, and wait again for the user to input something. Think about like if you would, I don't know, expect a number, but the user would put 1, 2, 3 and then ASDF and press enter only here, like at this place, right? So this would be on standard input, and what you want to do is you, for example, want to read the number, like here, so we read the number, and this is what's going to be left on the standard input. And you want to get rid of it because the next time you also want to ask again the user for the number and read it. Now, this is annoying if you're trying to automate passing input to the application, so ideally don't do it. This is okay-ish if you're trying to make like really interactive application, but usually you are not trying to make an interactive application. Usually you're trying to make an application which is reading from the standard input. Okay, so it seems OBS did reconnect successfully. Perfect. So we can continue now. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to try it a couple of more times, and if that doesn't work, we will just write an exploit. So because I want to pass at least level 1. I don't think it's happening though, which might be a time zone problem as well, so we'll see. Okay. Oh well, let's try to do it like this in this case. We're going to try to run it at the same time, kinda sorta, at the same time, as much as I can do it. Okay. Is there a sleep here, which is annoying me? No. Okay, I just tell it 1 and okay, it seems I have internet problems today. We can try this to do this again, and if it doesn't work, if my internet goes down again, we'll just call it a day, I think, and we will meet next week, because yeah, we cannot solve online challenges with my internet backfiring all the time. So okay, let's try this again. Then no, that's pretty weird though, since I thought I actually was pretty spot on. No, okay. That is pretty weird. 7, no, let's be a little bit faster then, since I'm doing a delay on purpose. You don't have to normally like synchronize it. Okay. Is this task annoying me on purpose? I'm wondering like if let's just spam it with 1. Because there's always 1 to 16, 1 over 16 probability that just spamming 1 will pass as 1 level, right? So let's see if this, yeah, it did pass 1 level right now. So yeah, I guess we have to try a couple of times. I think it makes more sense to make it a little bit bigger. Is it 14 now? No, it's not 14. Is it 14 again? No, it's not 14 again. Can we somehow run it at the same time? Let me think. I think we'll end up like just writing a Python script for it. I really would like this task to actually like show the actual digit which was supposed to be there, because without it, with like the actual digits or actual numbers, actually, we could synchronize the time a little bit better. But without it, yeah, we'll just like have to do it manually. Let's do it the other way around. 12, no. I'm wondering where's the synchronization problem. Like, is it on the? Can we actually see on the shell? Because we have a shell connected, right? What's the time on the shell? Not that kind of time. This kind of time. Date. Okay. And what's my date here? My date is. Okay. There is a pretty huge difference in that case. A couple of minutes. I wonder if the task is actually running on the server, because yeah, I think my internet is just dying today all over the place. So let's just finish it today. Sorry about folks, like technical problems, technical issues, and let's meet next week. I am going to try to force through this task and finish this task. But apart from that, yeah, we'll just break the stream after this task and continue next week. Sorry about that. Usually my internet connection is okay, but today it seems it's having issues, which sometimes happens with my ISP. Not regularly, but yeah, sometimes. So what I want to do still is I want to synchronize the date and just check it. And okay, so 33 here, 34, 45. That's what 1 minute, and that's which way? So this way. Okay, so minus 60 minus 43, 45, 42 seconds, I would say, something like this. Let's try it again. Okay, 34, 16. Yeah, it kind of seems like, yeah, it seems I have the values okay here-ish. We can quickly calculate it in Python. So that would be 35 times 16 plus 16, and on the other side we have 33 times 60 plus 54, so we have to 2116 minus 214. Okay, so that's 60 and 42, 102. Okay, so this will allow us to synchronize with that server. Now, I'm not sure this is the same server actually. It seems to be the same server, but who knows? So let's like just recompile this. Okay, and now let's try to run it in the same way we did try to run it previously, as in this way. Yeah, and first try. So yeah, it seems we just had to check the time on the server, notice that it's different, like totally different, and the offset here wasn't seconds, like over a minute. That doesn't usually happen. That's pretty weird. It might be a problem with my virtual machine because it's a virtual machine. It might be a problem with the server because for some reason. But at the end of the day, we were able to still do it, so that's fine. What is not fine is my internet connection, so I think we're going to finish it here. I apologize for that, but since it can break any moment, let's just go back to the challenges next week. So thank you for being here. Apologies for the issues, and yeah, see you next week. In this case, I hope my internet connection will be better then, or I can just try to get a second connection just to be sure. Cool. So I wish you a happy day, happy evening, and yeah, see you next week.